Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Blind Press YouTube channel and the coffee stream. Of course, it is Wednesday, and that means it is What the Fuck Wednesday. And holy moly, do I have some what the fuck for us today. So, I have, and it's videos. Pretty much all of it is videos today. We have, we are going to get a little bit political because we have some question period stuff from yesterday. We're going to watch a little bit of the beginning of question period because it's Pierre Poilievre versus Dolores Umbridge, or as I should say, Chrystia Freeland. And Chrystia Freeland basically used the pickup trucks metaphor to call into question Pierre Poilievre's manhood while he was talking about the important things like, you know, energy prices and gas costs and food prices. And she was like, I'm going to make a manhood joke. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyway, I'm going to show you that. And we're going to take a look at what actually is cytomegalovirus, the virus that took my sight. We're going to watch a 9-minute video about that. And just before I went live, I was scrolling through YouTube, and I saw a video titled Justin Trudeau and President Xin, I think is how you pronounce it, the Chinese president, get into fight on camera. So, yeah, definitely some What the Fuck Wednesday today. We have two leaders fighting on camera. Also, apparently yesterday, as I'm sure we all know, Poland, because Poland can never win, got hit by some Russian missiles. And everyone's all in a tizzy about it because, well, of course, Poland is a NATO country. So everyone's worried about World War III, which is looking more and more like a definite worry, not a, oh, you're just being silly. And all I can say to that is, and it's very selfish, but I'm glad that my husband is too old and that my kids are too young. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just saying. So, without further ado, please like and share the stream, guys. And remember, this stream is brought to you by that very thing, liking, sharing, commenting, and there is a Streamlabs link as well. So please consider throwing some shekels my way. You could have me do a dance. You could have me do some exercise. You could all sorts of, you could have me do like side raises, jumping jacks, squats, bicep curls, all sorts of things. So let's start with the breaking, I guess we should call it, the breaking news. Let's start with the fight. Or should I actually wait till there's people in chat to describe what's going on? Because, hello, Fury! It's a Fury kitten. Let's see. What should we start with first? Let's take a look. Let's do the fight first. And there's nothing like a fight through a translator. You know what I mean? Because you can actually hear it's like this posh British guy. Xi Jinping, that's it. So there's nothing like a fight through an interpreter. And this interpreter is like this very nice, very posh British man who is translating. So, oh, you can do an extra, cool, slides, extra camera, video file, share screen. That's cool. Okay. So, let's do theater mode. Oh, and I forgot to put the layout into the correct format. I need small screen layout. There we go. That's what I need. Hey, so this is, as I said, it's a 3-minute. Yeah, I'm just queuing up the video. I'm not going to play it yet. So I have been dealing with freaking these stupid bouts of fatigue in the early, not early morning, the mid morning, just before I'm supposed to go live. And it doesn't matter how much sleep I've been getting. It doesn't matter my med adjustment. It doesn't matter what activity I'm doing. Like this morning, I was stretching out my hip. I was planning for the show, and I was just like my head was nodding back and forth. I'm like, Jesus Christ, wake up. It's really frustrating. Russia needs to calm the fuck down, yo. Yeah. So it's very, very frustrating. So I'm trying to deal with that. I'll be talking to my doctor about that. We got a follow-up appointment that I need to do because we've increased my meds. And that's fucking with my fitness schedule because I don't even have the energy to push myself to work out in that section of the day. So I've been pushing that to later, and now my schedule is all fucked up, and I wonder if part of this is because it's winter, because during the winter I always get more low energy. Eat some of those chocolate covered espresso beans. Oh, I would do nothing but eat those chocolate covered espresso beans. And then all my weight loss progress would be for nothing. Oh my god. It's insane. It's bad. I don't know. I think my other thing is I'm worried that this cartridge that I have is an indica because making me pretty sleepy. Some people aren't affected like that by the strains, like by indicas or sativas. Me, I am. If I get an indica, I'm just like, give me a sativa, and I'm like, okay, let's talk. Let's clean. She will wait. Yeah, I'll never stop eating them. Yeah, it's true. I will never stop eating them. It's bad. And with the amount of coffee I drink, I really shouldn't have access to chocolate covered espresso beans. Cause yeah, that's just a recipe for disaster. We actually um my ex had a giant bag of them. Like one of those 2 pound. I was about to tell that story. My ex, yeah, she ate 2 bags of those things, and then Pincalo used to come to work with 4 of those. Like, if you guys remember Jolt, like the cans that were like this tall with the screw off lids, the Jolt colas, they're like different colored flavor, like different flavor. Yeah. Okay, so she ate 2 of those bags and then she stole 2 of his Jolts. And had to go to the hospital later that night because she was having palpitations. Yeah. Yeah. It was it was it was fucking retarded. No, it's a hybrid. Oh, good. Good. Because fucking indicas and me are dangerous. Uh, there's like there's a cartridge that we got called Couch Lock, and it literally it's just like I smoke some of it and I'm just like, good night, I'm done. it's it's yeah, it's funny. All right. So now that we're at about the 15-minute mark, I think. I hope everyone is having a good day. I'm gonna also try to start doing more TikTok lives again. Oh God! So apparently, I look like Patrick, what's his face from Sandlot. According to some dumbasses on TikTok. Cause yeah, sure. Um, it was pretty stupid. Oh yeah, Patrick Runner. Yeah, he. So they were telling me that I looked like him. It was like, really? Is that's interesting? And then somebody else was like, some 18-year-old person, because I, as a joke, I was like, did I ruin your No Nut November with this trend, like with this transition or whatever, in the caption? And this chick's like, my boyfriend wouldn't even ruin his NNN with you, like some stupid thing like that. So I replied, I bet your boyfriend lost his No Nut November on November 1st to free Twitter porn. I should have added at 12:05 a.m. My favorite was the fat lesbian that claimed to have a boyfriend. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, her. Yeah. My wouldn't even ruin my boyfriend's No Nut November. It was like, yeah, okay. It was special. It was very, very special. All right, so let's get this video playing. So let's observe what it looks like when two leaders of a country have a fight via a translator, shall we?
Everything we discuss is leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate. And that's not how the way the conversation was conducted. Everything we discuss is leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
Did he just say it's not appropriate? Let me put it. It's hard to tell because of the conversation in the background.
Everything we discuss is leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
Oh, everything that we discussed has been leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate. That's what he said. Okay. The whole thing, the worst thing I did was drink a pot of coffee in less than an hour and I was wired to the ceiling. I drink me and Pincalo drink a whole bunch of like a pot of coffee every day, but we don't drink it that fast. Hey, Duck Dog! So, let's see. So he says everything we discussed has been leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
And that's not how the way the conversation was conducted.
And that is not how the way the conversation was conducted. Oh, that man who's translating, he has to be from like Beijing or Hong Kong or something. Like the way I mistook his accent for British. It's like that clipped Chinese accent when they're speaking English.
If there is
In Canada, we believe in free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue to have. We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have
In Canada, we believe in open and frank dialogue. Do you really? Are you sure? Are we sure that that's what we believe in, Mr. Trudeau?
Let's create the conditions first. Everything we discuss is leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
Is this just a repeat?
Let's create the conditions first.
Let's break the conditions first? Wait, what?
Écoutez, je pense que les gens savent très bien que pas toutes les conversations vont toujours être faciles avec les autres chefs, surtout quand il y a des enjeux qui
Why does it
sont
sound like
sources de
he's wearing
différents.
high-heeled
I
shoes?
raised the issue of interference with our citizens and expressed that it's important that we continue to have dialogue about that. We know that China is an important global player in the economy and has a very big impact on events around the world. Canada needs to be able to engage constructively and directly on areas we can work together, while at the same time we continue to be there to challenge on human rights, on values and principles that matter to Canadians.
How about you shut the fuck up about human rights right now, my good sir? Mr. Freedom Convoy, Mr. Calling in the Emergencies Act, Mr. Government is putting in medically assisted death before fixing the social problems it has not fixed. How about you fuck off with the human rights card for now, okay?
And look to advance the interests of Canadians. And this is something that we're going to consistently do in a clear and hopefully a constructive way.
Your leader shit himself when Seige chewed his ass. He did. Hi, woke Mr. Trudeau. How's your swagger going? Right? That literally sounded like he was wearing heels when he walked up to that platform. I thought that was a woman that I heard walking. I honestly thought that was a female. Commandant Trudeau. Right? That was weird. That was very odd. And then, while that was happening, over in Ottawa yesterday, we had Miss Umbridge, aka Chrystia Freeland, over in the House of Commons for question period with Mr. Polyev. We're gonna just skip past the French.
Because she
student loan interest.
Okay, so here we have Mr. Polyev in his opening remarks. Caffeine can affect us for over 6 hours, huh? Then why am I so tired all the time? Maybe I have too much caffeine. So he's about to make his opening remarks.
Charges for all Canadians.
Finance minister was out about a week ago saying that she makes a profit off the carbon tax.
Yep.
She lives in a scale downtown Toronto neighborhood where she can go on a subway anywhere she needs to go, or where she can ride her bike. Most Canadians don't have a chauffeur, and they don't live next. If they're a suburban family that needs to take their kids to hockey or school, they need a minivan. If they're a rural family, they need a pickup truck to fight through the snows and carry heavy equipment. The Liberal NDP Costly Coalition wants to triple their carbon tax. Will they cancel that plan so Canadians can afford to get where they're going?
And this, okay, that was a perfectly valid, like, not vitriolic talking point, right? Okay. For the setting that they're in, okay, because they're in the House of Commons, they're talking about parliamentary stuff, right? He's giving situations other than a downtown lifestyle. You know, okay, what if you're suburban or a rural family? You need this kind of vehicle or this kind of vehicle. This is her answer.
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, let me just start by saying I think I've probably driven more pickup trucks than the leader of the...
That's her answer. That's where she feels it's necessary to go when people are unable to feed themselves, unable to gas up properly. People are choosing to die because the government has decided that it's not worth fixing the social safety nets that are in place. We'll just give them a way out. You know, we'll just let them kill themselves off for us. That's all going on, and that's where she chooses to start. That's how out of touch this party is with what, right? How is that germane to the conversation? Wow, she's shallow. Yeah. I don't understand. The only way anybody that is a voter still supports this government is that they don't watch question period. That is the only possible reason. Because if they watched question period, as a voter, they would be like, oh my God, these people think they're unstoppable, and it's my fault as a voter because I didn't do my due diligence and actually watch this publicly available stuff to see what the fuck the people that I picked to run this country are doing. And everybody who's sitting there going, oh, well, at least it's not Polyev in power. You know what? You guys haven't been watching what he's been saying either. Because while yes, he is very polarizing. However, he's not a yes man. And he also has the balls to call out the stupidity on his own side. He did not stand up with the illegal parts of the protest, of the freedom convoy, the blocking of the bridges and all of that. He was like, no, that's fucking stupid. That's illegal. You guys need to stop that. All of that MGTOW shit, that was his like social media people doing that. He went in and was like, whoa, 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 stop that. Take that off. Okay? And everyone else who claims, oh, he was part of the Harper government and he was part of the reason why things were so bad in the Harper. He was part of the Harper cabinet for a year and a half. Out of the, let's see, Harper was elected in 2006 and he came out in 2015. Out of the 9 years that Harper was prime minister, Polyev was in the cabinet for a year and a half. So tell me, how did somebody who was running for office and working for his constituents for most of his life, and look at the people that we know that do watch question, they think it's okay. Yep. Hey, Selected Boy, Mr. Goatman. Let's see. Also, and the majority of Canadians don't watch question. Also, the media summarizes question and always makes Chrystia Freeland look like a polished turd. Yep. Democracy is a myth. These are the people that cannot do the math that you can not drive from most places in southern Ontario to Ottawa in an electric car. Yep. All electric car owners keep a diesel power generator in their trunk. So let's see what she continues to say after that.
We want to talk about the advice that he has for Canadians on the economy and on fighting inflation. Let's talk about his advice that he gave, which was you can opt out of inflation by investing in crypto.
Yeah, and you know what? He's probably going to walk that back now. But really, what other choices are you giving people? Miss chairperson on the board of the World Economic Forum. What other choices do you give people other than to look at things like crypto and think maybe, just maybe, there might be a possibility? Like, you sit there and you laugh at people for investing in crypto. Oh, these stupid people. Look at them investing in crypto. Well, why the fuck do you think there was such a huge jump to cryptocurrency right when there was? Maybe because governments like you were fucking around with the currency standard and the inflation. This is insane. Christopher Freeland, also known as Hemlice. Let's see. You know how you guys live in Canada and you go through the hardest winters? Does that mean you guys are physically and mentally strong? I wouldn't say any different than anyone else, really. We just tend to live like where a lot of Canadian cities are closer to their borders because it's at least a little bit warmer and a little bit less snowy. Like the interior of Canada is really, really harsh. Really, like, lots of forests, lots of marshland. There's a lot of different types of biosystem in Canada. What is your actual power level? Yeah, Minnesota has worse winters, yeah. Freeland needs to wear a gimp mask with a zipper mouth. A gimp mask with a zipper mouth. No, he's not gonna walk that back because crypto's crumbling. Yeah.
People had listened to him, and I fear some probably did. They would have lost at least 65% of their money, maybe all of it. It's time for him to apologize, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable leader of the opposition.
Minister should talk to the people who live in rural Canada today. Those people are faced with $3 a liter diesel just to fill up their trucks. Similar fuel to heat homes in places like Northern Ontario and Atlantic Canada will cost families as much as $6,000 to get through the winter.
Oh my God. Yeah, honey, we're not moving to Northern Ontario. Fuck that. $6,000 for one winter? Fuck that shit. Holy fuck.
The costly coalition of the NDP and Liberals have as their solution to triple the carbon tax that those families will pay. Canadians are worried about keeping the heat on. Will the government cancel the tax so that they can do so?
Actually, good on him for ignoring that. That was actually good on him for ignoring that stupid pickup truck thing. I'm glad he didn't sink to her level. I'm kind of glad he ignored it.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we've already talked about the Conservative leader's reckless advice to Canadians to invest in crypto. It is
Just
time for him
answer the
to
question.
apologize. But let's talk about the other elements of his plan. He wants to eviscerate the EI system that so many Canadians depend on.
No, he wants to revamp it, you
He
moron.
wants to endanger seniors' pensions.
I'm sorry, what the fuck have you done for them? Where have you bolstered seniors' pensions? Are you considering that extra like $40 a month to be a bolstering? Wait, you actually you actually, with a straight face, told Canadians to cut out Disney Plus and they'd be okay. So
She wants to make polluting free again.
That's terrible.
She wants to claw back climate checks from Canadian families. She wants to deprive Canadian children of dental care, and he wants to deprive low-income renters of the support they desperately need.
The leader of the opposition.
False, 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 and false. But let's look what the reality is on this carbon tax. She says she's going to send out checks that make families like her have a profit from the carbon tax. Well, according to the parliamentary budget officer, which this prime minister appointed, in Alberta, the average family will pay $2,000 more in tax than they get back in checks. In Ontario, it's $1,461. Similarly true elsewhere. And in many provinces, there's no rebate at all, even though the federal government is imposing this new triple tax.
So families like hers that live in downtown Toronto get kickback. Families that can afford to live in places like downtown Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, who can afford to take the subway all the time, or Uber, or cabs, or ride their bike, or those stupid electric scooters, or whatever the fuck. They get rewarded for being rich already. And the rest of us get fucked because we have to rely on trucks and vans. She has a longer face than a horse. However, 10 minutes ago, I was in a massive snow squall. And 10 minutes before that, it was green and clear. Meanwhile, where Blind Press says there's about 4 inches of snow on the ground. Yep. Yeah, just click on, how much is the subway fare in Toronto? How much does it cost to ride the TTC in Toronto?
Okay. Fares and passes. TTC. Single fare. $3.25. $2.30. Ellipsis. Toronto Transit fares vertical line. Fares websites. Heading. Toronto Transit Commission fares. Wikipedia. Cash. Fares and passes.
So $3.25 every time you get on. Unless you have a pass. Usually passes. I know a bus pass in my region is, for an adult, it's like $100 a month to ride the bus and the light rail. Too many nutty drivers there. Yep, that's exactly it, Jordan. If you're a millionaire or at least comfortably well off, you're fine. Do you really want to own and drive a car in Toronto? No. That's more than in New York City? Holy shit! That's crazy.
Will they cancel this tax so Canadians can pay their bills?
The Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to be sure Canadians understand the blocking and delaying tactics of the Conservatives in our Parliament to prevent Canadians.
What the fuck are you talking? Are we having two different conversations? I really feel like Chrystia Freeland is having a completely different conversation than Pierre Poilievre is having.
From getting the support they need right now. Here's what the Conservatives are blocking and delaying. Our efforts to make housing more affordable.
Where?
With measures like an anti-flipping tax and a tax-free first home savings account. Who would be a
Oh yeah, a tax-free first home savings account that barely grows the money that you put in there, and you can only contribute like a certain amount of. Ugh.
Opposed to that, Mr. Speaker. They're blocking our plan to permanently eliminate interest on Canada student loans. Why are they blocking that, Mr. Speaker?
Permanently eliminate interest on Canada's student loans. Why? So you can earn money elsewhere?
Leader of the opposition.
Well, they have a majority with the Costly Coalition and the NDP. They can pass anything they want.
That's right.
If they were really going to make housing affordable, they would have done it a long time ago. It's been 7 years, during that which time house prices have doubled. And now home heating prices are doubling, with costs expected to rise to as much as $6,000 for a single family to heat its home in oil-heated communities like Northern Ontario and Eastern Canada.
Yep.
And the government's plan with the NDP is to triple the tax. Why don't they stop the tax hike so Canadians can heat their homes?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Look, what other non sequitur is she about to come up with?
Mr. Speaker, we do have a plan. We have a positive plan, which is fiscally responsible and it is compassionate.
Everybody just needs to cut off Disney Plus, and if you're disabled, you should die. That's our plan, Mr. Speaker.
It is a plan to create jobs and fight climate change at the same time.
It doesn't
and
grow.
Here are some key elements of our plan, Mr. Speaker.
I'm the
We are going
voices
to
in her
permanently
head.
eliminate interest on Canada's student and apprentice loans. Yeah.
She's having a conversation with the voices in her head.
We're going to move the Canada Workers Benefit, which supports people who work really, really hard but aren't being paid very much. We're going to move that to advance payments. A family can get up to $2,400, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député de la...
That. I feel like I was just gaslit and I wasn't even in the conversation. I feel like I was just personally gaslit. I don't even know how Polyev must feel right now. He's probably just sitting there going, I don't even know what she just said. That was $2,400 a year. Yes. In some states, I heard they were making wood stoves illegal. Will they do that here? Many people will hear. Ugh. Stop. Yes. That $2,400 a year. Yeah, they always do. She always does that.
But it's always a year. It's never a monthly.
No.
They will never give every Canadian $2,400 a month.
No.
No, but that's the thing. But this is where people are fucking retarded. Is they sit there and they listen to this shit, and they don't catch those little misses. They don't catch that. They don't catch the fact that she's a finance minister. He plays hide the fucking money all day long. That's all. It's just it's aggravating because one, a TFSA, regardless, doesn't have growth. There is no growth in a TFSA.
No.
The only growth in a TFSA comes from your contribution. And yes, you are correct. You're only allowed to have a certain amount of a contribution per year. And then what happens is you get hit
Yep.
at a very high interest rate by the CRA.
Yep.
So fuck them and fuck their bullshit. That's the fucking problem here. This is why you were saying, why do people believe this shit? Because of that. Because they listen to that part. The papers will put in, Kristen Freeland's talking of $2,400 for all Canadian families. That's what they'll write. But they won't write it's $2,400 a year.
And then
Notice she also says up to.
Yeah.
Up to. So they play this long con game because they say this stuff now, But it starts 6 months down the road, and everyone forgets by the time it gets put through all the rhetoric that was said previously, including the opposition. Why Polyev is not as good as people think he is, because he doesn't call those little things out. He should be calling her out for that right there. He should be saying, why is it you keep saying $2,400? Is that $2,400 a month? Or is that $2,400 a year? Meaning you think a $200 a month check to an entire family is enough to change anything. And also, the thing that's pissing me off with Polyev is he just said oil heated homes. Okay? That's not propane, that's not natural gas, and that's not wood. Okay? Which is a very small number in comparison to the other three. It's kind of one of those bullshit talking points that he's using.
Because they're more affected by the carbon tax.
No, they aren't. There's a difference also, because an oil heated home will primarily have firewood as their secondary, and they won't always be using one. They'll be using wood and oil. It's a combination. And if they're going to get hit on the carbon tax, then once again, that's where the problem lies. And that should also be increased to everybody around the country because of LNG and anything like that. Now, what that doesn't do is that doesn't affect the wood burners, which is what I saw when I was all over Smith Falls, slow wood burners. So that's the big thing that people are not adding either. This is why it's a dog and pony show from both sides, and it pisses me off. Thank you. Have a good day.
You know, I could have sworn that you had the ability to drop in on StreamYard. My parents' home can be heated with wood. Awesome. What was I looking at? So, that was what happened yesterday in the political thing in Canada. While Trudeau was fighting with President Jinping, whatever his name is. And now we are going to look at a video from a year ago called, from a series called Answer This. And I actually kind of wanted to do this with you guys because I have been trying to learn about cytomegalovirus for a while. And I've been trying to figure out how the fuck I got it, because it's mostly a sexually transmitted disease or congenital carried in utero disease. But this video kind of ends up explaining that to me. So we're going to take a look at this, and it's a 9-minute video. And so we'll be looking and stopping and starting, and we're going to learn a little bit about the virus, because it wasn't the measles that did it. The measles was the primary infection. The cytomegalovirus was what actually took my sight. So, we're going to take a look at this. Take a look at this video. And we're going to learn about CMV.
Today's episode of Answer This, we're going to be talking about one of the most common viruses passed from mother to infant during pregnancy that could have serious implications if left untreated. We're first in our 3-episode series of Answer This, sponsored by Moderna, that will be taking a close look at health equity for women, especially new mothers.
Sponsored by Moderna, huh? All right, then.
Welcome to Answer This. I'm Zinklai Anual.
Welcome back, Jordan.
CMV is commonly found in adults. More than half of all Americans will have the virus by the age of 40, according to the CDC.
That I did not know. I knew that it was basically a commonly just carried around virus, but I didn't know that so many people would actually have it.
But babies born with congenital CMV infection can have serious side effects that will present long-term health problems. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Gail Demler-Harrison, an infectious disease expert at Texas Children's Hospital, whose research focuses on CMV in newborns.
Okay, so she focuses on the congenital cytomegalovirus, the congenital cytomegalovirus infection.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for inviting me to talk about CMV. It's a very important topic.
Of course, it's important, and I want to
sponsored by the Clot Shot, right?
start just plainly with a simple question, and that is, could you explain to us and our viewers what CMV is?
CMV is cytomegalovirus. It's probably the most common virus most people have never heard of.
That's true, because in the research that I actually have done, it is very common. But whenever you say cytomegalovirus or CMV, unless the person you're saying it to is like a pediatrician or a hospital doctor, they're like, what? What is CMV? You know, like,
it's a common DNA virus. Most of us will be infected with it sometime in our life.
Thank you. And who is most at risk for CMV?
Well, actually, everybody.
Everyone, you're all gonna die. I wonder if CMV would actually be one of the common, like if somebody were to make a zombie virus, I wonder if CMV could be one of the ones that would be used.
Can acquire CMV. About 1 out of 200 babies are born with CMV. That's called congenital CMV infection. Toddlers are virtual hot zones for CMV. They pass it very frequently between themselves in daycare centers and group settings and home care settings.
And that is probably how I got it. Now, the little girl that I caught the measles from was, interacting with me. And if she was, we're all carriers, and you can be asymptomatic and spread it. So she could have had two things going on at once, right? She had measles, but she could have also been asymptomatic and had CMV, like an active CMV infection.
Adolescents are another sort of hot zone of CMV transmission. And then finally, women of childbearing age, especially if they're pregnant,
stop trying to educate you. Oh, okay.
Have
now
serious consequences to their pregnancy and to their unborn child.
And you mentioned this is very common. We know that the CDC says 1 out of every 200 babies is born with congenital CMV.
That is actually I didn't even know that it was so prevalent. I didn't know that was 1 out of every 200 babies. And I wish that like I had been told, because I told everybody that I had CMV and that's how I went blind, and nobody told me about like congenital CMV. Nobody told me like you could pass it through your kids. Like maybe I don't know if I can ever get it again. Maybe she'll say that. Maybe she'll talk about it.
Infection. But what are the most common side effects you see? If you could break that down, especially for viewers who may not be familiar.
Well, CMV most of the time in adults, toddlers, and even newborns has absolutely no symptoms at all. And the newborns that have congenital CMV, about 90% or so may be asymptomatic, that is, have no symptoms at all. You cannot pick them out of the normal newborn nursery. Yet about 20% of them will go on to have a progressive hearing loss.
Interesting. So it can affect the hearing. I wonder if I wonder if we're gonna find out today that it like what exactly it was that Jesus. Oh, this is just a test. Thanks. You couldn't wait till I was done streaming? Dick.
Babies who do have symptoms of CMV at birth can have a wide variety of symptoms. They may be as subtle as some petechiae or little blood spots on their skin, a small rash, enlarged liver or spleen. Sometimes they can have abnormalities of their liver enzymes or low platelets in their blood count. Sometimes, unfortunately, the virus can affect the baby's brain. They can be born with what's called microcephaly or a small head, or their brain can be malformed or can have calcifications or cystic malformations.
Damn, that's the congenital. That's the congenital version. That's scary.
And then finally, CMV can also affect the sensory organs. It can cause vision loss and blindness.
Hi.
And its most common sequelae or side effect in the newborn is hearing loss, either one-sided or two-sided hearing loss that is often progressive in nature.
Interesting.
And how long does it take for these symptoms to present? As you mentioned, some newborns can be asymptomatic and adults, and others present these symptoms. How long can it take to see or know?
Well, in the newborn, sometimes the hearing loss is present at birth and can be picked up through routine newborn hearing screening.
Yeah, and they always do while you're in the hospital, they come and do like the hearing test and stuff like that.
And then targeted testing for CMV in those babies who do refer on their newborn hearing screen.
Yeah.
But the sneaky part of congenital CMV associated hearing loss is that it is often later in onset, and it can present as late as 1 month of age or many years of age.
And obviously, hearing loss is a serious side effect, especially for newborns, knowing how much language development happens when a child is born and in their first few months, and it can get progressively worse after a baby is born. So what can be done to treat it?
No, not really anything.
So that's a very good question. The first thing is to detect it, because a child doesn't know hearing loss is occurring if it's not detected.
Well, and they're focusing only on the hearing loss, like. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Worried about my sister. She had her whole period in 1 day rather than 7. She had twins 3 months ago. Fingers crossed, hoping everything's okay. Oh, dude. That's scary. I hope everything's all right. 3 months, that's 12 weeks. So she's 6 weeks after her postpartum. She's 6 weeks post her 6 weeks postpartum checkup. So that is scary.
So that's the first sort of step in doing something, is knowing that they're at risk and detecting it early. There are antivirals that have been shown in randomized clinical trials to reduce the effects of the hearing loss. It can reduce the progression of the hearing loss, and it can reduce the risk of later onset hearing loss. So
I wonder if today, if I had been dealing with this issue as a baby, if they had the proper, like, the antivirals available to treat me, because I don't think there were those types of drugs available in 1990. And even if they were, they probably weren't safe for infants. So they had to just put me on steroids to fight the infection. So I wonder if today, if I were going through the same thing as a baby that I went through 30 years ago, if I would not have ended up blind. That's an interesting thing to think about.
So there's a medicine that can be given, and it is most effective if it's given in the first month of life and given for 6 months. So that's one thing. But there's other things besides antiviral medicines. After early detection, there is technology that can help the children hear, with hearing aids, or in severe, profound hearing loss that is irreversible and not help with hearing aids. Cochlear implant technology is amazing. And then there's also other functional therapies, speech language therapies, auditory therapies, and as well as ASL sign language, as well as other speech language therapies.
And I do wonder what you hear from new mothers and parents who encounter CMV in their newborns, either in themselves or in their children, especially given how much goes undetected. What do you hear from these families?
Well, I run a very busy congenital CMV clinic here in Houston. And what surprises me the most and also tugs at my heart is that as they hold their baby with congenital CMV, they look at me and say, why did those that came before me not warn me? Why didn't I know about this very common virus? All I had to do is Google search CMV and a wealth of information.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and as I'm listening to this video, like, I'm sitting there going, 1 in every 200 babies. Like, could I have was I at risk for giving my boys CMV? Like, because I had it? Like, and I think I even asked. I think I even asked the OB. So, yeah, all of this research was in the last 15 years, so no, there would have been no medications. Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, if I were a baby today and in the situation that I was in 30 years ago, I don't think I would be blind. Like, even, like, I had lost my sight by the time Mom took me to the doctor, but I think, like, she took me to the doctor within days. So I might have, they may have, like, maybe I would have been visually impaired, possibly a high partial, but I may not have been totally blind. But it also freaks me out that, like, I'm like sitting here going, could I, like, let's see. There's an interesting thing that because you had it, you may have passed your antibodies onto them. I hope so. Like, I go between, could I have possibly given it to them as babies? Thankfully, they you know, but or could I have immunized them against it? Like, that's the other thing. Could I have possibly immunized them against CMV?
Cascades. So that's the thing that affects me the most, is that they didn't know about CMV before their baby was born, and didn't know about some potential things they could do to maybe reduce their risk.
And in that vein, are there precautions that expecting mothers can and should take?
Get tested for CMV?
Yes, there are. Many CMV experts think that women of childbearing age should know about CMV. And I call it the CMV knowledge vaccine, or information immunization. An ounce of CMV awareness. You have to first know CMV exists. And 3 simple precautions that you can take. First, don't eat or drink after your young toddler or preschooler in your home, knowing that they might be hot zones for CMV and have CMV in their saliva. Second, wash your hands carefully after changing diapers of your toddler and your infant, even wet diapers, not just poopy diapers, but wet diapers, because CMV is in urine. And third, avoid kissing your baby on or around the lips and on the face while you're pregnant. Give them a big hug or kiss them on top of the head instead while you're pregnant. Those 3 simple precautions, combined with an ounce of awareness that CMV exists, will reduce their risk. Nothing is 100%, but it will reduce their risk of acquiring CMV while they're pregnant.
Interesting.
And why do you think with CMV specifically, there is not as much awareness for adults, new mothers, families?
That is a very good question.
Probably because everyone's focused on the big scary illnesses like polio and diphtheria and whooping cough and measles and all that stuff. It's probably that reason. Nobody's focusing on CMV, especially because it doesn't even present really as a scary, like there's like, even when she was describing the symptoms, like they didn't sound mild, or sorry, they didn't sound severe, they sounded mild. So everyone is probably focused on the viruses that look and sound really scary and not focused on this. A friend of the family got polio the year before the vax came out. Oh,
I've been doing this for
that's
over 30
hot.
years,
That's
and
horrible.
literally shouting from the rooftops about CMV. And I don't know why there's not more CMV awareness. Many things get a lot more attention than CMV. I think some of the reason maybe is we are a reactive society instead of a proactive society. CMV is stealth, it's quiet, it's always there. And it's not something new. I think if headlines came out that 30,000 babies each year in this country have been born with a virus that could cause hearing loss and developmental disabilities, it might get everybody's attention.
Well, it's clear that you have been doing and will continue to do powerful work. Dr. Gail Demler-Harrison, thank you for being here.
I love it's. I wonder if blindness is a rarer side effect than deafness, because they really focused on the hearing loss. Have a good night, Jordan. So yeah, it's very, like, I wonder if blindness is, let's actually do a quick Google search here. Let's see. Rate of blindness caused by CMV infection. Let's see. Let's see. CMV retinitis. I wonder if that's what I had. How common is CMV retinitis? Let's see. Oh, see, no, that's okay. That's for the HIV thing. CMV. Does CMV cause blindness? Yes, it does. Okay, let's see what Mount Sinai has to say. Let's see here. Because it's saying that it affects people with HIV, but clearly that is not me. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Where is it? I just want to read what you have to say. Okay, CMV retinitis. Okay. CMV retinitis is caused by a member of the group of herpes-type viruses. Infection with CMV is very common. Most people are exposed to CMV in their lifetime, but typically only those with weakened immune systems become ill with CMV infection. Aha! Bingo! Bingo! I got the virus because I was already sick with the measles. Serious CMV infections can occur in people who have a weakened immune systems as a result of HIV or AIDS, bone marrow transplant, chemotherapy, drugs that suppress the immune system, organ transplants, or if you're an infant and you're already sick. Some people with CMV retinitis have no symptoms. If there are symptoms, they may include blind spots, blurred vision, and other vision problems, or floaters. Retinitis usually begins in one eye, but usually progresses to the other eye. Without treatment, damage to the retina can lead to blindness in 4 to 6 months or less. Yeah. So when mom took me to the doctor, I was already not. I think you might be right too, honey. Because that I was blind so fast. I really think that it was probably more the measles, because if you look at this says 4 to 6 months or less. Now let's take a look at measles. Let's see what this has to say. Blind caused by measles. What do they have to say about that? Let's see. Measles blindness. Measles has long been a leading cause of childhood blindness worldwide. One study estimates that measles causes up to 60,000 cases of childhood blindness a year. Yep. Definitely the measles. Definitely the measles. Like, I was blind way too fast for CMV retinitis. I was blind within days. So do I. I do too. I wonder if mom still has them, or if I can get them. Yeah, I wonder if I can get my records from sick kids. That would be very interesting to see. I didn't know measles caused that much blindness either. I did not know that, and that was a survey from 2015, so that's pretty recent. Like within the last 10 years, it's still taking like 60,000 kids a year's sight. That's crazy. That's insane. That is absolutely crazy to me. Well, that's a pretty good what the fuck for What the Fuck Wednesday, I think. What do you guys think? Oh my goodness. Well, I had a snack before I went live, but apparently it wasn't a big enough snack because I'm starving. So I'm going to end here and go eat and then work on cleaning up the living room because the children have destroyed it. And I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves today. I will be back on Twitch tomorrow morning with some more Beat the Blind Girl. And that one, I will try to be starting at 10 o'clock. I think that snow is evil. Snow is evil. Snow is very evil. So I will be trying to start as close to 10 o'clock as possible tomorrow morning. And I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching. And I'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.